Well, a warm welcome to everyone joining. Thank you for being here. Get yourself ready with a notebook, grab a pencil or pen. Whatever you choose to write with is fine. This is math from the void. Math coming at you pretty much out of nowhere. And today we have an SAT type problem from the topic of geometry. As you can see, we got a circle kind of thing in here, and we have some lines touching the circle, going through the circle. Go ahead and read the problem. Give yourself about a minute and a half or two. Shouldn't take much more. In fact, if you know what you're doing here, it should really only take about 45 seconds to a minute. It does require you to recall the correct formula involved. So pause the video, give yourself some time to try this out. And then when you're ready, you can unpause the video, come back, and see how we did it here. Now we're going to have some options since this would be on a multiple choice portion. But I do like you to be able to solve without the options there. I really want you to understand the technical mathematics behind the solutions rather than just playing the game of test taking. Although that is a good skill to have. I don't say that you shouldn't have these skills. That's just not what I'm here to foster. I'm here to foster your mathematical abilities. So without further ado, let's find the value of x. Now you'll notice that RP is tangent to the circle. So this line segment is completely outside. Whereas we have the line segment SP, which is a secant. It's not completely outside. It goes through here. We cannot say that this and this are the same length. Not only does our eyes kind of confirm that, our eyes would tell us, hey, that's probably not the same length. But in fact, the only way we get a congruent segment to this is if we draw another tangent. So if we were to go like that, then these two segments would be the same length. Clearly, we do not have that situation going on. So here we have a bunch of distance on this segment that goes inside the circle. So this problem comes down to something I like to refer to as the inside-outside rule. Now the equation that we're going to use here is going to be outside times whole equals outside times whole. Now, that's not going to make too much sense to you as just words floating in space. If you're more interested in this, I am in the process of making a video series on geometry topics, and this is definitely going to be covered much more in depth. But for now, let's just use the theory. So when we look at the tangent segment, as I mentioned, the entire thing is outside. So the outside distance is x, but the whole segment distance is also x. We're going to set that equal to the outside segment here, which is 6, times the whole segment. This is where a lot of students will make the mistake. The whole segment is not just the inside portion of 8. The whole segment literally means the entire distance, the whole segment from S to P. So we're going to have to add these two things together. And the problem would be a lot more complex if the missing value x were one of these lengths. Like if one of these were missing and we had this tangent length, the problem would be a little bit more difficult. Right. So this is a pretty easy equation to solve, right? X times x is just x squared. 6 times 14 is 84. So we need to take the square root to solve this. Whenever you take a square root to solve an equation, whoops, that's not what I was trying to do. Whenever we use the square root to solve an equation, we must consider plus or minus. That's just a great habit to get into whenever you're taking square roots. Now, when you consider plus or minus, what do I mean by consider it? I mean you should ask yourself, is it reasonable or possible for the value to be negative? Well, since we're talking about the length of a segment here, We're not talking about like points on a graph, which can be negative. We're talking about the length of a segment. That cannot be negative, so we don't have to worry about that. And you also see that none of the answer choices are negative. It'd be ridiculous if they had negative answer choices. You would be able to eliminate those right away. So we just take the square root. And some people might struggle with this square root, but just pull out nice perfect squares. So obviously 4 comes out of the 84, right? That's pretty obvious. So x is going to be equal to the square root of 4, which is 2, times the square root of 21. That does not simplify. And we're looking at option D. Okay, that was some quick SAT math. I hope that was very understandable. If you're interested in this inside-outside rule, there's a relationship for side lengths and segments, and there's also a relationship for angles. More on that in another video. I think that's enough blab out of me this time. See you next time.